Northern Michigan living here, and I'm doing an oil change today on the wife's Range Rover Supercharged. This is the L322 body style, the Supercharged, so it's a beast. Thing's got like what, 405, 10 horsepower or something. All I know is it's a lot faster than the Range Rovers of old. So what I'm doing is an oil change, but I wanted to point out a couple of things to help the do-it-yourselfers out. And sorry, I didn't think to make this video until I was already doing the job. So, under here, so I can get a good shot of it, there's the drain plug. When it spurts out, if you can see the plane, it squirts all over the subframe, the bushings, the whole lot, makes a huge, huge mess. So what I do is, that's 13 millimeter by the way, I got my catch can and I fashion something to splash it. Piece of cardboard seems to work the best. So you wedge it up above that drain hole and let it deflect the oil. You can see where it hit and goes into the drain pan. So you don't end up with such a huge stinking mess. But and it keeps everything dry. So the only thing wet is, you know, this, and you just throw that in the garbage when you're done. When you're taking off the pan, I don't know if you've done this before, so I'll kind of cover the basics. Behind here, there's two bolts. And you can just see the bracket there where they mount. So what I'll do is lay in here and get my hand kind of backwards in there and fish them out. Otherwise, those belly pans, there's two of them, one in the front and one a little further back that covers the oil pan and transmission. Those are going to be really hard to get out if you don't take that off. So then once you get that off, you drain it. There's your oil filter right there. And I got big cake grabbers and I can still grab hold of that sucker and twist it loose. So I'll replace that with a new one here in just a little bit. And then, of course, you got your filler, dipstick, and I have had excellent success running Castrol Edge, full synthetic 5W30. I tried the Pennzoil products and it made the timing chains rattle just a little bit at cold start. So I got rid of that immediately and went back to Castrol. And it turns out the snake oil is not what people said it was, so I avoid Pennzoil and just stick with Castrol. It's good stuff. This thing's got 133,000 miles on it. It doesn't leak, although I did see some seepage under there. I'm going to have to address that. That might be the PCV. I'll get under there and find out if it's leaking down the cylinder heads and whatnot. But other than that, pretty straightforward. When I get to the next phase, I'll kick back in here. Sorry I'm doing this in segments. It's really hard one-handed when you need both to reach up under this rascal. So let's recap where I'm at. I got the filter off, got the new one on. I used a Wix filter. I've always had good luck with Wix filters, so that's what I'll stick to. I sprayed off the front cross member there to get some of the oil residue and whatnot off. And back there by the oil pan, I also sprayed that off just so I can start tracking where the seepage might be coming from. I think it has more to do with a bad O-ring on the old plug. But sprayed all that off and then I'll be able to track it. So I'll give it about a month and I'll get under there and check it out and see where that's coming from. The rationale behind that is that I don't have any oil loss. This thing will get up to the full mark, which Jaguar actually says it's supposed to be between low and high. It's supposed to be right in the middle there. I usually go for closer to the high mark. And of course with the Castrol there, it just, I don't ever have to add any. So the thing's got 133,000 miles like I said before, and it's not burning any oil. And whatever seepage I'm getting out of the bottom there, it's not necessarily trackable because I don't see any oil loss. So it's got to be that O-ring on the drain plug. So always make sure you put a new O-ring on. Okay, so I got it drained. I got the new filter on there, and now all I gotta do is fill it up with this stuff. And I'm gonna need two hands because this doesn't stay really well. It keeps wanting to roll over, and I'm afraid to dump a bunch of oil all over the engine. That'll really suck. So let me get the oil in there, and I'll come right back. Got the oil full. Now we're gonna start it. Idle for a quick sec. Check the links. Let's get under and have a little look-see. Alright, oil Filter's looking good. That's old stuff. I'm gonna wipe that off in a minute. As long as it's not growing, that's when you're concerned. And then the drain pan. Plug looks nice and tight. No drippy. I'll wipe that one off real quick. That's not spreading, that's just residual. Alright, we're good. Now, having changed the oil in this thing before, I know that it takes almost a solid 8 quarts. That'll take me right to the full mark. I don't know if you can tell, but my driveway's on a slight incline, so that'll actually, on a level ground, put me a hair below the full line, and that's sufficient. We don't really rock crawl in this thing or anything much, so I don't have the issue of it running in the crankshaft or anything. Other than that, it's a nice sounding motor. These things idle really smooth and they go like stink. So, okay, so we got the filter on, we got the oil drains, the new filter, oil filled up. I'm going to be about a quart low now, so I'll add that in just a sec. And then we got the final phase, which is actually just as important. Recap. You got to pop off the tow hook cover. You got these bolts up here in the front. Then you got 2 behind here. And then you got another one here, another one in the middle, another one over there, and then you got 3 more back for that center or rear section of the belly pan. So once you get all those back on, over the years, the hardware has changed a little, so I just keep using what was already on it because it works, frankly. I know some of the bolts are a little bit different, like this one's a regular 10 mil hex head, and this one's got a regular slot through it. There it is. Alright, so, you know, it is what it is. This stuff all works. It's sitting there good. Okay, so, everything checks out. Everything's full. No leaks. Now, I mentioned earlier about the final part, which is almost as equally as important, and that's resetting the lights. So I got my Wi-Fi OBD2 scanner. Now I'm going to go through my connections. Let it catch up to seeing the... Yep. Alright, so that's up to snuff. Now, 4D CAN application. If you do not have the RSW Solutions 4D CAN software, you really should get it. This stuff really works great, and it enables you to be a shade tree mechanic. Let me turn that down. Shade tree mechanic, yet service your own. Okay, so we're going to connect to that. 2005 and up. Jaguar engine. And oil reset. Key must be off in position 2. Sorry, I'm watching out of 2 different perspectives here. Sending ECU parameters, weight. Let's go with 6 month on that one. That seems to be about right. Oh. Yes, I know, it's unsecure. Oil, reset, process fail, what? Alright, I'll check that out. Wah, wah. Okay, but normally, you got all kinds of neat stuff. Steering angle sensor calibration, the electronic air suspension calibration, you can clear the V8 adaptive stuff for your transmission, you got parking brake reset, you got all sorts of live data stuff you can take a look at. And then, of course, reading faults of all different types. So I love this software. I had a height sensor go bad, and I was able to, let me shut this off, and I was able to recalibrate all my right height sensors and everything. So the front's like 19.5, the rear's set at like 19, and I was able to recalibrate everything with that software. so I didn't have to go to the dealer. And the software is super handy. I don't get anything from them, of course, but I just try and share stuff that worked for me that other Land Rover owners or old body style Ford owners can use. That's the purpose of the channel, really, for now anyhow. So I got a bunch of stuff to do on this car yet. I'll be making a video about changing the serpentine belts and all the idler pulleys and tensioner pulleys and stuff like that, and then whatever maintenance comes up in the future. So these are really good cars. They're very affordable these days. Yeah, they're a little bit longer in the tooth, but this one goes like mad. It's unstoppable off-road and in the winter, and I have zero complaints about it, frankly. It's been a very reliable vehicle. So, and don't be shy about these vehicles, because it's a Range Rover and all you see is dollar signs. You can do it yourself. It's really not that hard, and you can download the manual online for free. You can go to like rovers.net or something like that and download the whole file. So really not that big a deal. Please feel free to like, leave comments, subscribe, give me some feedback on these videos, something you'd like to see in the future. Until then, I'll see you the next time. Follow up on that oil reset interval thing with the RSW Solution software. Turns out I was the error. I turned it to position 2 too soon. So you open up the window, get the communication, turn it to position 2, and then reset it for the 6 or 12 month or whatever window. So the car's all set, ready to go. I'll be taking off to pick up some pizza in it here in just a little bit. So thank you for viewing. And again, leave your comments, like it, dislike it, share, ask a question, whichever you like. Please feel free to reach out to me. Until next time, we'll see you.